I think it's extremely insensitive to compare the Jewish people to the Americans, because the Jewish people are native and are indigenous to the land. We are the pre-colonial identity prior to the colonization of the land by the Romans. We are an identity that has a right in every single way to be able to live there and express self-determination, and to compare an ethnic conflict between cousins and populations that should live there equally to colonial settler, evil imperial regimes that came and did horrible things in the name of colonialism, I think is very insensitive to the situation, and further makes Israelis not want to open up to the valid criticisms you have of the Israeli government in the situation, because you don't consider also their narrative and their right to exist. I completely agree that the situation in Gaza is horrible, which you mentioned. In terms of occupation, I think, again, it depends how one uses the term occupation. If one uses the term occupation in terms of control, well, the Hashemite kingdom is occupying Jordan, Israel government is occupying Israel proper, area C and partially area B, then the Palestinian Authority is occupying area A, and Hamas is occupying Gaza. But I think when we tend to use the term occupation only for one people and not actually break down what is the actual situation, how is it divided, and why is it wrong, I think it does an injustice to the situation and being able to move forward. I think the reason for why people were pushing the Oslo Accords is to create a two-state solution. This has been the position and also the objective, I think, of many Israeli politicians, which I very much so oppose. And I think, in my opinion and in my experience, most Israelis and most Palestinians disagree with the two-state solution. Unfortunately, we haven't, on the pop cultural level yet, been able to break those taboos of being able to have discussions together of how do we really reconcile the situation, understand each other's suffering, identities, and aspirations, and build a reality that moves towards that. But I think that's the only way, and if that was done in 48, we would have been able to get there. But I think, unfortunately, in 48, there were many forces, also individuals in the Palestinian camp and in the Israeli camp, but mostly I think the British, who, as they did everywhere in the world, from Nigeria to Afghanistan to Pakistan, India, divided and conquered and convinced the Israeli population that their enemy and the reason for why they can't or wouldn't be able to get self-determination were the Arabs and Palestinians, and convinced the Palestinians and Arabs that their enemies were the Jews and that they were trying to push the interest of the West into the Middle East. And this is exactly what they did to other places, convinced that we're each other's worst enemies. And that led to us actually fighting in several wars that led to displacement, that led to a Nakba, that led to many things that have to be recognized and healed. But I think when we don't include the entire context and understanding that it was never the intention of either side to just completely annihilate the other, then we're actually not able to heal and being able to move forward.